Hello dear friends and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I will be showing you some of my games from Freestyle Friday, which was played a couple of days ago. My first round opponent was Indian Grandmaster Pritu Gupta. Yes, I'm protecting my pawn on e4. Yes, I think here more or less black doesn't have any problems, but here Ritu Gupta went bishop a6, huge inaccuracy, because after king d8, maybe he was thinking about bishop b7 and he trades bishops and then gets my pawn on e4. King d8, very good move. Now black is threatening b5 and rook b6. If you go back with the bishop, c5. And now white simply cannot protect the pawn on d4. Yes, queen g2, c takes d. This is already lost for white. E takes d, queen d4 is coming, otherwise d3 or d takes c3, and now d3, and now b5, threatening b4. If white is playing b4 himself, then knight c4 is finishing the game, and now a5. And now b4, black is threatening rook b5 check, and now check. If king a4, at least bishop c6 is very unpleasant, and now bishop b7, knight c8. And if king b8, black is just playing bishop c6 or bishop d5, checkmate. Yeah, such a start of the tournament. Then I won a couple of games. So I started 4 out of 4. And in round 5, I faced Sam Sevian. Sam always been very unpleasant opponent for me. b5 and short castle. Yes, you can see the starting position. e4, e5, short castle. Bishop g5. Maybe stopping f4 ideas. d4. I think Sam underestimated this d4 move, because if you just take on d4, then f4 ideas are coming and white is getting some activity. d6, knight d3, knight g6, b3, opening this dark squared bishop along a1, h8 diagonal. Short castle, knight g3, b5, bishop g4, knight b6, queen d1. White is slightly better. And here I went knight f5. I always wanted to keep my knight on g3. And if black is going some bishop f6, to always have these knight h5 ideas. But eventually I decided to play knight f5. He takes d, bishop d4, bishop f6. And now my e4 pawn is very soft. f3, very good move. As you can see, I'm already having 1 minute. And Sam has 1 minute 42 seconds. Yes, I managed to find this f3, very good move. Mm. Yes, initially I didn't want to um, weaken my a7 g1 diagonal, but in the end I did not see anything better. Yes, and I played f3. Yes, here bishop d4, knight d4, a6 is very much possible. White is slightly better. 5 takes, king h1. Just avoiding all possible checks and pins along a7 g1 diagonal. a5, queen c1. I very much like this queen c1 with the ideas to jump knight f4 and c4, knight f4. I'm threatening already knight h5, takes. And here Sam blundered I think white is better anyway. And g6. Maybe he was thinking about knight h6, king g7, queen f6, king takes f6, or knight h6, king g7, and some move with the queen takes d6. Yes, if g takes f, queen f6, if queen d6, knight d6, if rook e6, knight h6. And here, of course, I can easily take on d8, and white is better and much better, queen g3. Very good move. If g takes f, just take, and then queen h3. Sam went queen b8, knight d6, rook d1, completely winning position. White is 2 pawns up. Black doesn't have any counterplay, anything. Yes, knight d5, threatening some knight e3 fork. Rook d2, knight d4, winning another pawn, pushing the pawn. Still, it was not easy to win this completely winning position against Sam, but I was lucky here. He lost on time. Yes, and then I won my sixth round. I was very lucky because it was a very drawish position against Spanish Grandmaster, but somehow he tricked me and he got winning position or much, but in the end he just blundered his knight and lost the game. So after winning that game and starting the tournament with 6 points out of 6, I lost to Denis Lazavic. So I was 6 points out of 7, and I faced Maxime Vacher-Lagrave. And more or less, I can say we got very standard position. Even from standard chess, you can get similar positions very often. Take c knight a4. Typical idea. Knight is not on bd7. And yes, knight a4. This pawn on c5 is hanging and very soft. Hanging pawns. And here engines are showing d4. Yes, Maxim went c4, b takes c, d takes c, takes knight a5. And here white is better and much better. I took. More or less I played okay. Yes, this. I took on g7, knight c3. Knight d4, very good move. Rook b1. And here I could go rook b5. Played this. Rook b5, very good move. Because it's very important for white to, and much better for white to enter knight endgame instead of entering rook endgame. Yes, but here already, I think I could just play, just moving my knight. So I took, and this is also very unpleasant position. h5 takes, king e2, threatening some king d3. Maxim went rook d6, stopping, f3, e4. And this is completely winning endgame according to engines. So at some point e5, rook e5, rook f5, and e5, e takes d. I thought I'm having some chances here. I'm having extra pawn, but of course my pawns are doubled. And simply game ends in a draw. Yes, we tried, but of course game ended in a draw. So I was 6.5 points out of 8. And I faced German player. Now he's presenting Uruguay. Yes, again, you can see that more or less position, and I played knight d4. Very important move. I take c takes. Pawn on c4 is hanging, and now d3, and now knight d7. Yes, black is threatening some knight c5, maybe even bishop e4. Yes, queen d3 is not possible because of knight e5 or knight c5. And now bishop e4, very important move. If you take queen e4, then knight c5 ideas are coming, or even maybe bishop c5. And here bishop c5. Takes, takes. And here it would have been better to start with rook d1, knight g4. I played knight g4, and here Georg Mayer could take on d8. I apologize if I am pronouncing his name not correctly. Yes, here bishop c5, queen c5, and king g2. Black is better. Black is maybe even much better, but not winning. Bishop takes, queen takes. White is losing an exchange. Knight e3 takes, and this is completely winning. b6 takes, g6, queen e7. Yes, completely winning position. And here my opponent lost on time. Yes, I had 7.5 points out of 9, and I was I faced Liam Le Quang Liam, who just a couple of days back scored 11 points out of 11 in Title Tuesday. And this is very unpleasant position for me. For example, night before, +1 for white. And we can see that white is having only 7 seconds. Bishop takes and rook d7, bishop g4. Huge blunder because rook takes g4, bishop takes g5. Yes, if queen g5, rook d1, this is completely lost position. Check, check. I'm sure that I had many different ways to win. Takes, queen c2, queen d3, king b8, and here again I won on time. And I was having 8.5 points out of 10. And luckily, or not, I faced FM. Yes, because I could play much higher rated players. Yes, and maybe slightly better position for white. Very important move. Here the best move is to c6. I checked with the engines. The problem is if you take d takes c, white is not taking bishop b7. And after knight b7, knight c4 because of rook d5. White has this intermediate knight c4. And now you don't have time for bishop g2. Queen e5 is coming. If you take knight c4, rook d8 is there. And now queen d8, yes, just bishop b7 or b takes c. And black is losing some material. Here, rook e7 was possible because black doesn't lose any material. Queen f6, king f6, bishop b7, knight b7, knight d6, c takes d. Yes, but my opponent did not manage to see it or play it. He played c5, huge blunder. Here I could even take c takes d, bishop d5, and just f4. I played f4, takes, c takes d, completely winning position, knight b5, knight b1 was possible. I went e4, knight c3. Here I could play rook a1 because initially I missed that I cannot play rook a7 because of bishop takes d5, and then I realized I went rook c1. Also black is threatening some knight c2, so I played rook c1, attacking pawn on a7, and now knight c4, threatening knight d6. And now check, d6, rook is hanging, rook d7, knight b6, rook takes, bishop e4, completely winning position. And here my opponent played f6, e6, and now rook d1, and he resigned. So this is the final standings. We can see that Shamsidin Vohidov won the event, Freestyle Friday, with 10 points out of 11. Two players, myself and Nodirbek Yakuboyev, scored 9.5 points out of 11. And we see that Alexei Sarana and Christopher Yu, they scored 9 points out of 11. And we see Denis Lazovic, Nguyen Ngok, Maxim Vashilagraf, Luca Moroni, and many, many other decent and strong, even top players. Yes, thank you very much, dear friends, for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Uh, thank you very much. Bye bye.